Hello and welcome. My name is Grace, and this is my channel. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different. You could see it's very grainy. It's grainy because I had to turn the lights off because my eyes are killing me. It's 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, and I thought, well, while I'm drinking my chamomile tea in my Pikachu mug, um, just go over some things that I've been talking about on my channel, and just to follow up and see where we're at. So with regards to the deck overwhelm, oh my gosh, people, I have to say, I had a really important breakthrough when it comes to the deck overwhelm. That for me, that's where I knew I was turning a corner. I've discussed FOMO, fantasy self, but I finally came at it from the other side, which is looking at what remains, looking at the decks I've kept, and seeing for the first time that it looks like me. The decks I kept are the ones that I purchased of my own mind to match my own tastes. Not trying to be something I'm not. Not trying to take take on some affectation. It's looking at my collection, to use that word, but looking at my assortment of tarot and oracle decks and seeing for the first time last week that it looks like me. It's a reflection of who I am on the inside. It is a reflection of how I use decks, or the kind of decks, like what I use them for is what I have. I keep looking over there because that's where they're stored. I kept the ones that I chose to purchase based on my wants, my needs, my tastes. All the decks that I ended up culling are what I could best describe as other people's decks. The ones that I purchased, influenced by someone else's taste, influenced by someone else telling me it was incredible, influenced by hype, influenced by exposure. Everyone's got this deck, it's got to be special, that kind of thing, right? And yeah, it's like, of course, I still do have decks that other people have or whatever, but for the most part, the assortment is more reflective of who I am as a card reader, as a practitioner, as an individual, and that really makes the difference. Also, that realization of, turning that corner, that realization that it had to be my decks, not someone else's decks. It's kind of like that. Like, I understand, and I've talked about it, where sometimes we just want to own something because we see someone on YouTube and we want to connect to them. We want a connection with them. And if we own the same object that they have, then we feel that connection to that person. We feel like it's a shared, not connection, but it's a shared experience. When I use, let's say, my Thoth tarot, it's a shared experience with other people who love Thoth, which incidentally has been my number one deck now almost a year. I'm sorry, people. I'm going to say it again. If I could have only one tarot deck, it would be the Thoth Tarot. That one does everything. That one does it. I could, read for divination. I can use it for introspection. I could use it for magical work. It's staring at it over there. Anyway, wonderful. Then, so that's where I am with the whole deck thing. Everything. Look how long this took. It's like I started talking about it in August of 2020, I think. Maybe not on, I don't know if in videos, if I was talking about it in August of 2020. I think in August of 2020 I was already talking about, feeling overwhelmed and missing the connection I had. And now I'm at a place where, okay, well, these are the decks that I'm going to keep, because these are the ones I use and I love. And when I turned that corner about understanding, one, that, there was the FOMO and the fantasy self, but the understanding that came just recently about, well, the ones I love the most are the ones that I selected of my own mind. Right there, that made the difference. Right there, that's when I felt at peace. And I gotta tell you, it's a couple of months. It's a couple of months I'm not watching unboxings, or I don't even know what the latest tarot deck is that's out there with all the rages, or which deck it is that everyone's posting the same, like not the same video, but you know what I mean. What the flavor of the month or the flavor of the week is that everyone's posting an unboxing and a flip through. I just don't. I'm not there, and I continue to watch content from people that I enjoy, but I really steer clear from anything that's an unboxing or a flip through of a deck I do not own, because prior to this past week, it would trigger me to buy, or it would make me want to, it would make me want to buy it, or I'd go and check it out while the video would be playing. I talked about this behavior where I'm watching the video in one window and I got the other window open where I'm checking to see, where it's sold and where I can get it from, and before the video's over I've clicked buy, right? Since I don't engage in that behavior anymore, I'm not watching the unboxings and I'm not watching the flip throughs. What I have gone back to doing is what I was doing in 2018, is watch videos of decks I already own, because I love this deck. I want to see what someone else thinks about it. And I've gone back to doing that, and I'm really, I don't spend as much time watching TarotTube, but when I do, I'm more likely going to watch, most likely if I am going to watch a tarot video, it's on a deck that it's a tarot video about a deck that I already own. So there's that. Also, a friend of mine and I, we had a conversation last week that I just want to put this out there. We questioned why we felt so compelled to buy a tarot deck or an oracle deck. What is compelling about a box of cards? What is compelling us to constantly search and chase and purchase, and like a bunch of lemmings? What is that? what's compelling us? And because we are both of the magical minded, magical practitioners, we pondered the possibility. We pondered the idea that perhaps some of these objects are in fact enchanted to get people to buy them. Now, there's no proof, and this is just like conversation over tea with a friend or coffee, right? But think about it. And tell me in the comments down below. Think about it. Do you think maybe there's a possibility that there's a little enchantment going on, whether indirectly or directly? Groupthink for sure. Groupthink 100%. But let's take it a little step further. Let's go a little more intimate, a little deeper here. Is it possible that there's something else at play? All right. Next subject I wanted to revisit from a previous video was I talked about how I do not buy other people's magic. I only use my own magic, or rather I don't buy other people's magic. I don't buy spell kits or like something already made. Not a spell kit, that doesn't count. But I don't buy other people's magic. Like if someone made an amulet or something like that, for the most part, I don't buy it. Now there's a couple exceptions to the rule. As a gift, like, you know, when buying a gift for someone, I am open to buying from a creator an amulet or a talisman or something. More an amulet than a talisman. As a gift for someone else. I just find that, you know, that's okay. Like a little a necklace or, you know, something like that, right? But I don't seek out products that someone else made, and they cast a spell on it. But I'm a liar, because there is a product that I did buy. There are some products that I have purchased that are other people's, that do contain other people's magic, that I think are incredible. And like I said, like I wasn't throwing shade and, you know, on it, like people who buy ready-made magic items like oils and, you know what I mean, right? Mainly oils. This usually comes in oils and spell candles and stuff like that. But I'm a liar, because there is something I do buy, or there is something I have purchased. I have purchased cards that are literally spells. One of them I didn't like, so there's one that I have more than one. Today I just want to feature the ones from one specific author and artist who I think I mentioned it in my favorites video or my March wrap up or something like that. I showed you one of the Priestess Moon decks. This is Making Magic. This is literally a box of 40 sigils. This magic is solid. I mentioned that in my other video. This magic is solid. This is like literally going to a bookstore or metaphysical shop or Barnes & Noble, wherever you can get these. I got these as a gift from my friend Sabrina. I freaking love them. And I've been using them ever since. I use them almost on the daily. Really practical for mundane issues as well as more arcane kind of issues, but incredible. This is solid. This is like real magic in this box. So I'm a liar because I do use magic fast food or convenience food. So while we're here, and I'm talking about this one, and I'm not going to do a flip through because the lighting is terrible. I'm just going to show you a couple. They're little cards with sigils on them, and it tells you there's a keyword, there's a sigil, a keyword, and what you can use it for. There's no booklet, no nothing. It comes in a larger size too. Now it comes in a larger round size. But yeah. These, they're inexpensive, but never mind that. This is crazy stuff, man. And sometimes it's not so much lazy. Sometimes I'm pressed for time. It's nice to just reach into a box and pull out what you need to use. I received from the same creator this from my friend Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. And I remember years ago when this was first out, I remember this is the Enchanted Spell Oracle, Medieval Hedge Witch Magic by Priestess Moon as well. I remember when this was first out, I had seen videos and I had seen reviews or flip-throughs where me too, when I saw there's something about the artwork, the presentation, maybe because the name is Priestess Moon, like I didn't know who Priestess Moon was. I saw this and I discounted it. I didn't see how it worked as an oracle. Oh, these are the backs. Beautiful. This is all Priestess Moon's art. This is all her work. Anyway, I guess I wasn't thinking of oracle decks for magic at that time. And this is where my practice has evolved into using cards with symbols on them. It started with I used to use Rider-Waite tarot for magical working. Then when I got my Thoth, and discovered that it's way more powerful and way more direct and way safer because you can really see, like the symbols on the cards are not as vague as, say, Rider-Waite. And then I started to branch out from there to this deck, and this is unassuming, packed with magic. I don't know why. I wonder why not more people are talking about these decks, because this is insane. Like, I'm talking, never mind a spell book. You look for the card that you need, and you take the card. There's information in the guidebook if you want to conduct a ritual. If not, each card has its magical symbols, correspondences, everything's on the card. It's incredible. So again, I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. I do remember seeing videos where people criticized this deck, saying that it wasn't a good oracle deck. Well, no, it's not an oracle deck. You don't do I don't use this to do a daily draw. I use this when I'm doing a working and I'm looking for inspiration. I use this when I want to do working and I'm either pressed for time or I lazy, and it works like crazy. So the last one I want to share with you is I just got this one literally today. And this is the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle by Priestess Moon. It says Voynich Magic. I have to say that at first glance it looks cute, fluffy, whimsical. And this is, in my opinion, the magic in these cards is even more advanced than the two previous decks. There's actually a combination of the two previous decks because this has the, you have the Enchanted Unicorn, which is quite, like, they're all quite stylized. And there's a sigil on these cards. On each card, there's a sigil that matches the Making Magic deck. I love this artwork because it's just, again, it's not cute. It's not cutesy. It's not typical. It's not what typical someone who likes a fluffy deck or likes cutesy decks or you know, this is it looks colorful. It's quite psychedelic actually to a degree, and but it's not just random pictures with random. It's not just a bunch of pictures with random keywords. A lot of thought went into these, and I just flipped through them and I thought, oh my gosh, these are even more advanced than the Enchanted Spell Oracle in terms of magic. And so, yeah. So if you are someone who's drawn to folk magic, kitchen magic, traditional witchcraft, I highly recommend these three decks by Priestess Moon because literally it's magic in a box. So I am eating my words that I do in fact consume other people's magic. I'm just very picky about it. I don't like some things, but I do like other things. So there you have it. I'm coming clean. I don't like spell books. I like spell books to read them for entertainment. I know entertainment sounds so irreverent, but what I mean is I like to read them for inspiration. I like to read them more like to see how someone else writes a spell or whatever. But I don't generally follow what I read in a book. Like, you know, if I read something in a book, it's like a recipe for me. It's like cooking. I read the recipe and then I use it for inspiration, and then I make it my way. And I find that these decks here function the same way for me. Having said that, because I'm very sensitive to the fact that I don't want to be creating FOMO and all that garbage. You don't need these specific decks, and if you've amassed quite a lot of decks, I'm sure if you look at your decks from through a different lens and say, hey, so what do I have that I could use for magic? And try it out. The worst that can happen is nothing, right? Okay, no, that's not the worst that could happen, but you know, safety first. Practice safe magic. All right, people. This is one of those. If you're still with me at this point, thank you so much for hanging out. I know I sound tired and low energy, but I really wanted to come clean about the fact that I do in fact consume other people's products that contain other people's magic. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful week. Bye bye.